What's up, guys? You asked for an oil change, and here it is. This is the 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee with this V6 in it. And honestly, it doesn't look too bad. I've never done one on one of these, so it's an oil change. So I just want to show you guys because they have a little hidden type. A lot of these cars went to the canister type filters. If you don't know what that is, that means it's not the screw-on filters that you just really crank and then you grab your torque bar and you really torque and make it seem like it was a really super duper Wheaties day. But anyway, I just want to show you where this filter is. This is a 2015, and from my understanding, they're about the same. See how you have this big old engine cover? It looks real intimidating. Look at this. Now, it actually has this little sign that it says it has an oil thing on it, but it doesn't say filter. I don't know how that works. But anyway, this little sucker, right, okay, well, I am the king of horrible lighting, so it's right down here. It's got a little, I don't know what size yet, but I'm going to take this 10, it looks like a 10 millimeter bolt, maybe it's a 12, whatever size that thing is. I'm going to take that, pop this whole sucker off, and then that'll give us better access. Now for your drain plug, it's pretty simple. By the way, this is my, I'm shorter than you, 100. So, it turns a 5.7 into a 6.5 person really quick. It's pretty neat. So, under here, hey look, a magical drain pan just appeared. But anyway, this right here, righty tighty, lefty loosey, drain plug. I'm gonna snap that thing out of there, slide it under and catch all that goodness. Then easy peasy Japanesey, we're gonna pull the cover off there, unthread whatever size thing it is. I'll get back with you and let you know. This thing I think is 5.5 quarts, so we'll double check that. We'll put 5.5 in, check. If it takes more, we'll add more. All right, I'll let you guys know what size those things are here in a few. Pretty sure you don't want to see some dude just changing oil because it's not very exciting. But make sure you take the keys and put them like 20 miles away from this sucker so nobody can accidentally start it, because these things start like if the keys are in proximity of the car, like 8 foot or something, 5 foot in it, because that's generally what I do. I just leave them in it. But anyway, I'll get back to you guys whenever I get the old goodies out of the way. Alright guys, so this is what I was talking about with that engine cover. That pops right off. That is a 10 millimeter, and now that lighting is not really so much the issue, this bad boy right here, see that housing? That's where your canister type filter is, and it's a 15/16 on that, and you can get to it with that. It's not very comfortable, and make sure you don't crack this hose. That's for your PCV, I believe. All right guys, I've got all this done. Like I say, I've replaced the oil. Right there is the oil filter housing. Just so you guys know, this is what I mean when I say canister type. It is buried, but it's somewhere right there. That right there is a canister type oil filter. And essentially, it's the exact same thing as what's in your canister or screw-on type filters. Which brings me to my second point. The drain plugs. This is generally how I know it got changed to, you know, maybe someplace like Wally Mart or something, Peppy Boys. You know, one of those franchise places where the dude was probably pushing carts last week and this week he's a technician. If that daggone drain plug is torqued at 87 foot-pounds, I mean, that's more than a Yugo wagon had factory. You don't need to have that much. That's ridiculous. Just right there in the old elbow. You don't need to break out the torque bar and say, well, I think we got her. Just tighten it good. You don't have to sit there and yank on it. Now I purposely tighten the housing. Now this is going to have to be more than hand tight, obviously. I don't know. I probably should have mentioned that for this one right here. That one right there is at 15/16. Now you take it down. I generally turn it till she's snug, and it'll make like a horrible plastic sound, is the best way to describe it. And I usually just give her a little tweaking. But I don't torque it to 87 foot-pound either. I don't break out the old breaker bar and wait till I hear click click like you're doing a set of heads or something. But anyway, we made it to the good part. The check, reset your oil light button. It says this. Here's the keys, and it says to hit the start button twice. And to do that, now what I did to reset the oil was I took, you have to do it fast, or else I would have done it better. But you hit the start button twice, press on the accelerator 3 times within 5 seconds, and shut it off, and that's supposed to reset it to 100%. Let's just see if it worked. All right. Is that ignition? I'm guessing it's on. I don't know. This ain't my car, I promise you. This is the old mother-in-law's. Where in the world? How? What the? Calm it down. Do I do this? Ah, there we go. By Gersh. And what I should be doing right now is actually looking underneath the car for oil leaks, or maybe on top. We'll do that here in a second. The good thing is, well, I don't know if it reset or not. I don't know how to check this stuff. All right, let's check for leaks real quick, just because it's better to be safe than sorry. So we're going to go up here and use my 6'5" extender. All right, no leaks around that. So that proves my point. No 87 foot-pound. Now, underneath, we got nothing. So that's another plus. Now, if it's summertime, your AC's running, don't freak out if you see a drift and it's over on your passenger side. That's your AC. That's the way it's supposed to work. Hopefully you're good, you know. But that right there, I don't know how in the world. Well, kids, I don't know how to check to see if that actually did it or not, but I promise you, if you hit that button, that start button, without hitting the brake, hit it twice, the accelerator, the gas pedal 3 times within 5 seconds, it resets your oil. You don't need a scanner or any of that stuff, thank goodness. But that's how she's done. Now, the only thing we got left to do is, I'll shut this sucker off. We got to check the oil. I did put 5.5 quarts in it. The dealer charged it for 6 quarts, which is typical, because I mean, that's just what you would do. Nobody can buy a half quart of oil. You know, whatever. So I'm going to check the oil. If that's good. By the way, oil is usually designated by that yellow stick right there. Transmission, if they have a transmission dipstick anymore, or if you got an old school car like all of my crap because it's old, it's red for transmission, because that's generally the color the oil is supposed to be and the transmission fluid is supposed to be. But this one wasn't that bad. It was a little tricky at first, and I saw that door and I'm like, man, I wonder what the heck that is. And sure enough, that's what it was. But this is, I'm guessing, I heard this is all the way up to 2015-ish, how they done them. So you don't want to torque this bolt. You know, you don't need to torque all these things to 100 foot-pounds or 87, any of that kind of crap, unless it designates it. These things are just, I mean, that just holds a plastic cover. If you're catching wind speeds like that, it probably wouldn't be a V6 model, it'd probably be a Trailhawk, I'm guessing. And it's not, so I'd say we're good. So the only thing I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna make sure she's good on all the fluids. I'm gonna zip down that we'll put the plastic cover back on. They fit in these little studs. And if you say, well, it don't want to come off there, you're probably just being a little stubborn. It's typical. Just take your hand underneath the cover, lift up right there, lift up on that end after you take that bolt off, because you won't get it off without that bolt, without breaking something, I promise you. But as soon as you do that, it's pretty easy. Generally, I try to go by what the manufacturer says on the oil on these newer cars. My stuff, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter. I mean, I think I bought 520 just because it was what was on sale, or maybe that's what they had 4 or 5 cases of. And I mean, it'll work, get you better fuel mileage maybe. If you got a loose old motor, you might run a little bit thicker, you know, if you got something that's been setting for a while, with the exception of these new ones, because like I say, I don't know how these new ones react with the newer oil, or with the older oil, I mean, like 1540 or something like that, like a diesel oil or something thicker, 1040, what have you. So generally, I mean, I don't think 530 is going to hurt. 1030 is probably not going to hurt it. But all these new cars call for a synthetic oil, and you know, even though these engineers, they'll put extra bolts in there for you, I'm not sure if they do the same thing with oil. I don't know. But they went to school for it. I went to school for it, but not engineering. So I'm going to take their advice on all that, and I'm going to try to abide mainly with that. I'll run 1030 where it says 530. It doesn't matter. But like I say, all my stuff is, you know, at least 100,000 mile plus. Even that pretty thing. But that pretty much wraps it up for this, guys. And like I say, if you got any questions that I help you with, shoot me a message. Like I say, I don't know if you can comment on this. I have 0 comments. I'm guessing that's good. I don't know. But if you do have any comments, anything I can help you with, I'm not a knowledge of wealth or anything, but I've usually worked on something enough to mess it up and realize, hey, you don't do it that way. And that's generally how you learn. Don't be afraid to tear into anything, as long as you got another backup car. I've done that too. So anyway, hit the like, subscribe button, wherever it is. Is it over here? Over there? Wherever it is, hit that. Hit the like button, you know. And I'm just going to keep on making videos. Hopefully this stuff is helping you guys out, because that's what all of it's about. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.